Thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video. Just to take a look, get you guys ready for tonight, let's take a look at how easy it is to go to BetUS and put down a bet. We're going to go with the Jets covering the 4.5 spread with the under. I think this is a defensive battle. We put $50 down on that. It wins 130. We're going to lock that in as a parlay. We go up here. We click confirm. It really is that easy, folks. Right now, you can get 150% bonus on your first three deposits up to $2,000 with code YouTube150. Check the description down below for the link. Thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video.
What is going on, everyone? It's your guy Cole Jackson back here on Road Graders, powered today by BetUS, and we are going to be taking a look at the Baltimore Ravens run game, trying to figure out what went wrong, what we can do to get King Henry going. If you guys are looking forward to this breakdown, if you're looking forward to getting ready for week 2 to take on the Raiders, go ahead, hit that like button for me, hit subscribe if you're new here, and drop a comment. Let me know what you think about the Ravens run game and what I show you in this video. Just to give you a little bit of what to expect, I'm going to kind of review what we did, highlight some of my issues with it, some of the specific issues around the play calling, some of the execution issues, and then from there, obviously at the end of the video, I'll talk about what I want to see moving forward, just to kind of summarize what I think was a broader issue that I haven't seen discussed enough, and I didn't really get it till I got into it, but you know, one of the fundamental issues was the Ravens running so much with Derrick Henry from under center and in the pistol. It accounted for 11 of his carries, only 2 came out of shotgun. They used only one option concept, which Lamar kept, and almost every run from under center was an ISO lead. Almost every run from the pistol was one of the counter concepts we're going to take a look at. So it was just, it felt very predictable and very much not what we saw from Todd Monken last year. So let's get into it. The plays are a little bit mixed up, but I'll try and highlight formation and also what the play type is so we can kind of keep up. Let me make sure I got my screen brush up here. Get over there, screen brush, so we can draw it up. So obviously we're starting here in the... Sure, get that up. Make this. Obviously, we're starting here under center in the I formation. We got double tights in, 7-man line. Play it through. You're going to see this is one of those ISO lead concepts, and obviously this is an execution issue. So ISO lead, we're going to get that double team here from Voorhees and Linderbaum. Stanley's going to try and hedge that gap. And then we got the hammer and Ricard coming up, trying to clear that gap. So the fundamental issue here, obviously, is going to be on this backside. You're going to get Daniel Falele trying to climb up to Leo Chanel, and then you got Patrick McCary, who has to take that inside shoulder of Chris Jones and watch Chris Jones just swim. Absolutely swim. And this was one of these frustrating concepts because I thought Derrick Henry read this really well. So at this point, you can see Drew Tranquill stepping up into this gap. You got Nick Bolton committing to the B gap. And you got Leo Chanel, who I think jumps over a little bit too far because he creates an easy crease for Falele. So both Bolton and Chanel are going to hop their gaps really quick. You see right there. And they're going to cover basically that A gap and that B gap, and it's going to create a cutback opportunity. And Falele is going to cave in on Chanel here, but obviously the fundamental issue being Chris Jones beating him takes away the cutback lane. So right there, just imagine having a little bit of separation here. That's a pretty clean gap. Linderbaum is going to lose his leverage here a little bit, but I think Derrick Henry would have been able to run through that contact. You can see Linderbaum losing right there as the rep went on, but obviously running through Chris Jones is a little bit different than running through what looked like. You're going to see that head come across. Pictured Chris Jones kicked out just a little bit. Falele's caving in. Pretty clean gap, but obviously Chris Jones absolutely swimming McCary makes that pretty difficult. Now we get into the pistol concept here, and this is going to be that counter concept. So again, we have double tight ends, Ricard in with Charlie Kolar, and so this is a counter concept that we've seen a little bit. So it's going to come out of the pistol. You're going to see Falele and here, let me run it. You're going to see Falele and McCary pulling. And I call it a counter concept because it's a handoff on the opposite side of where the run goes. So sometimes I've called it counter read. I'm not sure if Lamar is actually keeping it here because he's not really reading, and the run defender kind of commits down. So I would have expected Lamar to keep it if it was a counter a counter read. I think it's just a counter concept out of pistol. So you're going to see the down blocks coming on the left side of the line, and then you get the pullers coming in Falele and McCary. And again, handoff is on the right side, but the gap is to the left. So that's what I think makes it a counter. Curious if you guys see something different. And obviously, Charlie Kolar needs to have a cutoff block here. See how it happens. So Charlie Kolar's got to cut off there, and then you're going to get Falele coming down to kick out here. So he's got to attack that inside shoulder, push out, and then McCary becomes the lead blocker. And when we run it, you can see right there. But the fundamental issue is these down blocks don't move enough guys off. So Voorhees has to take that that outside shoulder, drive it in, and then Stanley's going to give help, but then climb to the second level, and that's where the pullers are going to come. But Stanley bangs down too hard, so Chanel is going to go into his gap that he just vacated, and Stanley is now pushing outwards when we want those down blocks going inwards. So I just think he overcommitted on the double here with Voorhees, and the addition is Voorhees not getting much movement off the line, so he's just not going to move his guy enough. Too much of an anchor there. But even still, I think if Stanley climbs to the second level and gets more contact on Chanel so that he can't get down into this gap, you'd get the kick out, and McCary would actually have someone to block, because when Stanley comes back inside, McCary runs into him. So he's going to come back inside, and now he's basically filled the gap. McCary has no one to block, and then Henry just tries to squeeze. So again, just some execution issues. But one of the fundamental problems throughout this entire run game is just not getting enough movement at the line of scrimmage. So here we're going to get what I believe is outside zone. This was one of the only times they went under center and did outside zone. And so you're going to see Voorhees losing his leverage on the cutback. You're going to see Falele not able to overtake. Just basically terrible guard play in the run game. So as they go, and this is one of the frustrating things, because this is a concept where I think Tyler Linderbaum is able to shine as a run blocker so much, and he's just not able to do it because the other guys just aren't getting enough movement. And so I mean, outside zone target here, you got Ricard. So Voorhees needs to get movement. You see he's already in the backfield, and Falele needs to overtake. And Voorhees is losing all that leverage, and Falele is just getting moved too much. Like, Falele needs to take that inside shoulder and move upfield. You can see both Falele and Voorhees' feet are behind that solid yard line. You go back to where they started, they are starting there. So they basically don't move their guys forward at all. And then Derrick Henry just gets pinched. So it's kind of two things there happening, right? We need the guards to be able to get that movement. I think this team wants to be able to run outside zone. But as an offensive line, you got to move bodies off the ball. And they're just not doing it there. That's just bad plays by both of their guards. Now we're back under center. And I believe we get into a little ISO lead here. So you're going to get that kind of double team inside. From Stanley and Voorhees, and then Ricard gets jacked back a little bit there. Now this one it goes for positive yards, so even some of their, like, I put it in here because even though it's going for positive yards, this isn't what the concept was designed for, right? This is supposed to be a shot right up this gap where you're going to use this double team to move off the ball, get the offensive lineman into the second level, and then Ricard's supposed to be driving here, and it's just smash hammer football. So you're going to see the double team. Chris Jones just anchors so hard, barely moves, hard to get into the second level. But really the fundamental issue here was watch Mike Dana get under Patrick Ricard and push him upwards. Right there. Absolutely jacks him, and then Derrick Henry has to cut. And luckily he's Derrick Henry, so he's able to do some fun things in the second level. But again, fundamental issue, combo blocks, not pushing guys off the line of scrimmage. And that's coming with a double team block where I realize it's Chris Jones. I realize he's, an all-world defensive tackle, one of the best in the game. But we have to move bodies off the line of scrimmage. We're back under center. We're going to get that ISO lead play again. And Daniel Falele just absolutely pisses me off on this play. Again, our guards just aren't doing enough. So I respect what he's doing here, because in an ISO lead concept, we do want to get that double team. We just looked at it on the last play. We have two down linemen here. We're going to work two doubles, but we have to hit that double and then combo into the linebacker. Now, where the alignment is, I would expect Ricard to hard step to his left, and then Falele to use that outside hand on the shoulder to try and pass while locating the linebacker. So once Falele is looking upfield and he sees Bolton start to come, he has to push off of the double, trust McCary can overtake, and get into the linebacker. But he doesn't, and it forces Henry to cut. And instead, if Falele is able to get into Bolton a little bit quicker and just kick him out, like just picture that being kicked out. McCary actually overtook this block so well. Ricard is also getting pushed back, but not, to his detriment. But this is a pretty clear lane. You can see right there as it develops, McCary takes over the leverage point. Ricard, while not moving the bodies forward, is still maintaining leverage. That's where this run should have been cut, but because he sees Nick Bolton coming, he has to cut outside, and he's cutting outside right into where the extra linebacker is from the Chiefs. So you're going to see there, he's got to cut. He's going to get tackled by 2 guys. So, I don't think that's not a touchdown run by any means, but if Daniel Falele makes his block, very simple. It's just so frustrating. Like, Falele you can't be that bad, and to just completely miss and end up on the ground. It's unacceptable. His run blocking was so poor for a guy 6'8" to kind of be on the ground that much. I know I'm sounding like a dickhead right now, but it's infuriating to watch. Now we're going to get into that wide zone concept. Voorhees doesn't climb. Falele loses. Common thing. Just these guards aren't getting it done. And again, this is the type of concept where I think Tyler Linderbaum can lock his eliteness. And again, same concept, right? We're going hard right step. We got a perfect leverage point here. I need Daniel Falele to move that body off the ball. I need Andrew Voorhees to cross face, move that body off the ball. Note where their feet are, just kind of behind the solid yard line. And then Falele doesn't make his way past it. He's not able to move that body at all. Tyler Linderbaum climbs to the second level. You can see him maintaining that leverage point there. And, if Voorhees works this double properly, I also think Voorhees doesn't take a hard enough step to the right because he wants to try and take that inside shoulder, allow Stanley to try and take over and get into the second level, right? So he's got to bang here and then work its way there while Linderbaum climbs for 23. So Linderbaum's going to do his job. You see him moving, but Nick Bolton's able to just kind of walk in the back door because Voorhees can't get off this block. So it's kind of a lack of quickness, and even still, he's still not moving that body anywhere. So, again, guards just kind of getting those run concepts broken up. Now we're going to start. This was the first run of the game. I think it was actually the Ravens' first offensive play of the game. And it's going to basically be, I originally thought it was outside zone, but it's kind of a pin and pull. So you're going to see Likely, who motioned down. You can see before the play button comes. So you see Likely motion down. And he's going to pin this defensive end. Sorry for the play button. That's NFL.com. And then you're going to see Andrews come out and pin on that linebacker. So watch to the left side of your screen right now. Snap's going to come. And then you see Andrews come down. So they're basically pulling that offensive line up in a sweep concept. It's basically a pin and pull. And so the fundamental issue here is if you watch Isaiah Likely, he is going to get just blown up. And right there, Drew Tranquil, who's coming from the opposite side, is just going to target him and absolutely drive him while you're getting kind of that kick out block from Voorhees, who's, basically pulling. It's kind of a pull kick out, and then we want to work that concept here. And I think Andrews and Likely started those pin blocks pretty well. Likely kind of loses leverage there, but then he ends up getting jacked up and getting thrown directly into Derrick Henry. So I like the concept. I like that it's getting guys moving, but just need a little bit better execution. We need those tight ends to be able to stick their nose in basically and get it done. And now we're back in the pistol. We've talked about this counterplay already. We're going to see it on the next 2 plays. That's kind of what I mean. Every time they were in pistol, they ran this counterplay. You're going to see it. There it is. There's the pullers. And there's their linebackers just basically jacking guys up. That's kind of what happened all game. You got Leo Chanel down there, 54. He's going to come down. And again, Falele is the kick-out block. So he's got to come down, kick out 54. Patrick Ricard's your second puller. He's a lead blocker. So there's supposed to be that kick-out block. 54 eats inside. That's fine. Falele has to turn him. You still have Ricard who's got to come down and hammer down 23. But Drew Tranquil just comes down, and credit to him, just makes a play, right? And Derrick Henry runs into him. Again, wasn't a negative play. He got some yardage on it, but just we're not moving bodies, right? It's kind of the same thing over and over again. Falele barely moves him. Ricard hits him, ends up getting jacked back, barely moves him. He ends up making the tackle. It's just the same concepts over and over again. The same, we're just not making guys move off the ball is driving me absolutely nuts. But one thing I will say before I move a little bit further, huge credit to the Chiefs linebackers like Drew Tranquill, Nick Bolton, Leo Chanel coming downhill, playing physical. It's something that I always give the Ravens linebackers credit for. So I will give that credit to the Kansas City Chiefs, but I'm still disappointed in our offensive line, in our tight ends for not moving bodies off. We're going to get that counter again. And a little bit better here. We're going to get... I added some more positive runs at the end to look at some of the good things. So you're going to see it. Voorhees, nice kick-out block. Ricard finally makes that contact. Again, it's just like it's always one thing that's preventing a really good run. And this time, we need McCary to down block. So he's got to force that inside leverage and then just kind of, again, move him off the ball. Like just drive him a little bit. We start with our feet behind that solid yard line. I feel like I'm saying this every time. And we're just, I appreciate what he's doing. He's creating that leverage point there, but we just need to cave down, right? So that when that block gets hit, there's going to be gap between Ricard and McCary. And then you're going to see McCary just lose the leverage there at the end. Mike Dana make the tackle. So I feel like these runs are getting so close, but they're just not getting it completely done. I think we get split zone on this. This was a play that I really thought the Ravens would run a lot more, was kind of these split zone concepts using, and this is split zone because you're going to see everybody zoning to the right, but the tight end that moved to this side cutting back. So when you see that tight end cut back against the zone, it's split zone. And the reason that's so useful with Derrick Henry is because when he cuts back, you got Ricard cutting back to this side, it creates some cutback lanes and uses that split blocker as a lead blocker for a cutback. And so here, again, something that Tyler Linderbaum does so well, why I want to see these zone concepts unlock. He just gets out there, he's able to bang down, make contact on the linebacker, and you think you're clearing out a lane here. And again, another run that was close. My frustration here was kind of twofold. So you're going to get Daniel Falele, shocker. I just need him to maintain leverage. He moved his guy off the ball, give him credit there, but I need his pad level to be much, much lower so that he can just seal off, right? I don't really need him to drive necessarily back. I need him to maintain that outside leverage, and he does a decent job there. Much better than what we've seen. That safety comes free, actually, because Nelson Aguilar is blocking right here. Zay Flowers is off screen right now in this general area. Zay Flowers should be cutting towards Justin Reed. Instead, he doubles down on Aguilar's guy. You see him come right there and just hit him for no reason. I mean, he's trying to make a block, but if he would have just climbed into Justin Reed a little bit and gotten his way, when Henry turns this corner, he's going to have Justin Reed somewhat blocked that he can cut off of, and instead Justin Reed stepping up making that tackle. You saw Nick Bolton coming at him anyway, so I don't think, again, it wasn't like we're one block away from splashing that run, but it's just always kind of one guy missing their job. So this is going to be that only option keeper out of shotgun. Beautiful play. Again, you're going to get that motion. This is kind of split zone in the sense that they're all going to zone right with Derrick Henry as one option on the zone. Lamar's going to keep it and follow Likely, and just a hell of a run. I can't believe this was our only option concept. Likely's athleticism, moves, Lamar easy yards. I can't believe they didn't use this more. I feel like this is such a money play for the Ravens out of shotgun, because if you watch, we have an option inside. Why is that backwards? That's weird. So we have that option inside, and instead we're going to keep it, which is fine. Lamar's reading this guy right here, and he makes the right read because you see 94 cut inside, but it just creates those two routes, right? So Henry can keep it, go, or Lamar can keep it and run, and just using that split look again will create that opportunity. Now I threw the touchdown in because this is an ISO lead, and I thought they did a damn good job. So what this should look like for future reference, so we want to keep an eye right here on the ace block from the right guard in the center. They're going to drive their guy. You get another double team on the backside. They all do their job. McCary kicks out. Look at that right there. There's that leverage. And this is when I'm talking about, like, we're always one block away from, making something good happen. McCary's got leverage. Falele's got leverage. Ricard's going to hit Bolton. And then it just creates that lane. to run up and get a touchdown. That's a 5-yard touchdown. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. So just again, one of those things where I feel like we're close, but it's always one guy kind of getting blown up. I'm obviously very disappointed in our guards. I think our guards can do a lot better. So fundamental issues that I want to see fixed moving forward. Guards obviously need to move their guys off the line of scrimmage. There's no concessions with this one. That has to happen moving forward. If this run game is going to be successful, the guards have to move guys. The second thing is I think we need better play variety out of certain sets. I don't think we can go on under center and just run ISO. I don't think we can go in pistol and just run counter. I think you need to see more zone read until this run game gets a little bit more effective. Use Lamar's, the read of Lamar to freeze those guys. It's a huge missed opportunity. We saw it once. Lamar absolutely blasted them. Once they start reacting to that, that's when those linebackers start to freeze because they have to read. That creates an easier advantage for the offensive line to hit those double teams that I'm looking at, those combo blocks, moving off the 2-for-1s, getting into the second level, and springing lanes for when it is handed off to Derrick Henry. So those are two things that I think you really need to do moving forward. We're going to see if they're going to get there. This this regular season is all about getting better every single week. I don't think this run game can get much worse. Looking forward to see how it gets better. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this breakdown. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you to BetUS for powering this video. As always, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Peace out, everyone.